On the air, Full Court Press basketball debate, part 4 of the June 24th, 2015 edition. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juneau. Incoming draft pick out of Ohio State, D'Angelo Russell, sat down with Phil Jackson in a one-on-one meeting and watched film. And Russell says he would, quote, thrive in the Knicks triangle offense. Timeout real quick, breaking. Cavaliers forward Kevin Love opts out of contract. Will become a free agent July 1st.
Oh, he saw the handwriting on the wall.
Smart guy.
Now, where do you think he's going to go?
Who knows? Who knows? It's anybody's guess right now.
To the audience out there that just came from...
That just came in, guys.
From...
Kevin Love opts out from ESPN. Just came in.
ESPN as a message on his phone.
Mark Stein, first to report.
Okay.
Kevin Love has opted out. D'Angelo Russell says he would thrive in the Knicks triangle offense. Your thoughts on this statement?
We are not really going to talk about Phil Jackson again. You went on a rant.
Yes, but this is about something different.
About Phil Jackson. No, actually, it's partially still the same topic.
Partially, but it's got a different tone to it.
Because to be perfectly honest, why is Phil Jackson making all these decisions and talking to these people by himself?
Because he runs day-to-day operations.
Are you kidding me?
It's his job. It's in his job description.
Are you kidding me that he did not involve the coach in talking to this guy? I don't know enough about D'Angelo Russell to know if he would be a good fit for the Knicks. I know the Knicks need oodles amount of help, but they should look in their own backyard first and take care of business and take care of Carmelo before they start looking outside to add people to what was already a disastrous season. Okay, and the triangle offense should have never been brought back in the first place.
That's question B.
Okay, so to ask me if they should get rid of it is a redundant question because it should have never been added in the first place. So you're going to have to tell me about D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell is a great combo guard. He can play the point guard and the shooting guard. He's quoted as the best passer in the draft. He had a good season, good freshman season at Ohio State. Should be in the draft, should be a top 5 pick. But I want to talk about the word thrive. When you say...
He said that?
Russell said
he
that
would
about
thrive.
himself. I want to talk about the word thrive and what the word thrive means in a basketball sense.
Yeah, and did he mean that he is gonna make the team better by inserting himself, or did he mean the opposite, that he can learn a lot from them just joining them and hopefully help them to improve? Does this guy think that he's going to walk in and be the savior for the team?
He doesn't strike me as that type of kid.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I could be wrong, and I have been wrong in the past.
Well, I would pick another team to say thrive about.
Thriving means that you are at your most comfortable with that position.
That's not the only definition of thrive.
That's where you play the best.
And you could learn the most. And you would get the most.
And it means that you're right. That's where you're going to learn the best.
Thriving means you put yourself in a position where you can learn the most, be the best that you can be, okay? Feed off of other people and their good qualities and good benefits, their skill, their education. You're putting yourself in the best place that you can possibly be so that you can improve and learn.
I have no doubts about D'Angelo Russell's abilities. I have no doubts about his skill set. And I have no doubt that he is going to be a success in this league. But it comes down to this, Yvonne Juno. If Carmelo Anthony can't thrive in the triangle, what makes D'Angelo Russell think
The
he
triangle needs to go away.
Carmelo Anthony is probably the most prolific offensive player we have in this league today when he is 100% healthy. If he can't thrive in this stupid offense, what makes D'Angelo Russell, a rookie, think he can?
I've never seen a coach so frustrated in my life as Derek Fisher was all season
Come
long.
on. Let's move on from Phil Jackson before I throw up. LeBron James says, quote, "I'm proud of our guys for reaching the finals in our first year together." Your thoughts on the quote, and will the Cavs be back next year? Why or why not?
What do you mean be back?
Will they be in the finals next
Oh.
year again? Why or why not?
Do we know if LeBron will be back?
He's saying he will be.
See, I can't answer part B till I know if LeBron's going to be there.
Oh, I can.
Okay? I'm very proud of LeBron for saying it. I think it's a beautiful quote. Do I think that he meant it? Absolutely. Do I think that he meant it 100% with no reservations? No. Because let's be perfectly honest here. He wanted to win.
Of course he did.
So, do I take him at his word? Yes. Do I think he's proud of the guys? Yes.
I know he is. You could tell.
Oh, yeah. Do I think that he is immensely proud of the fact they made it as far as they did? Yes.
Without a doubt.
Do I think that he was the most frustrated basketball player I have ever seen, functioning on sheer determination and willpower, and wishing above all else that he had more help on the floor, which means that as much as he's saying he was proud, he's still wishing there could have been more.
Yes, of course.
So that's how I feel about that statement.
And I agree with
And as far as part B,
of course the Cavs will be back. You know why? Because LeBron's going to sign the max deal with Cleveland this offseason.
if he doesn't,
Especially now that Kevin Love is gone. We were talking about him in part one, that we thought he was on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't expect him to opt out during the debate.
yeah, no kidding.
I was spot on with that.
Well, we can say one thing about Kevin Love.
He's smart.
He's smart and sees the handwriting
He's
on the wall.
smart because Thompson's about to get paid.
Oh, yeah. Because
But-
he sees what Tristan Thompson did, and he's thinking to himself, hell, why they need to pay me and keep me around when this guy just did everything he needed to do, and he and LeBron work like a well-oiled machine.
Miami plans to offer Goran Dragic a 5-year, $80 million deal. Yvonne Juno, is he worth it? Why or why not?
I only have two things to say about this, and then you can rant and go on your get on your podium with your pedestal and say anything you want to say. Okay? Number one, no. Goran Dragic is not worth $80 million, but if you are stupid enough to pay him $80 million, you damn well better pay Dwayne Wade $80 million or more. That's the way I feel. No, I don't think he's worth that much. He's good, but he's not that good. And don't talk about cutting Dwayne's salary if you're going to give Dragic 80. You do for one, you better do for the one who's already proven himself, even though there was room for improvement this year. Don't bring in Dragic making what Wade was making and ask Dwayne to take a pay cut. Are you insane?
So why are you saying that Dragic is going to leave? If Miami's offering him this, why do you think he's going to leave?
Because I think somebody else is going to offer him that or more.
Whoever does that needs to have their head examined by a physicist. I'm just saying.
You realize the ill feelings, the hurt feelings, and the controversy, and the locker room stare downs if Dragic makes more than Wade?
Do you realize?
Oh my God!
That if the Miami
it would take an
Heat,
idiot.
Do you realize that if the Miami Heat give Goran Dragic A 5-year, $80 million deal.
Per year?
No. 5 years, $80 million. $16 million a year.
Oh.
If you give him that, he will be making $3 million less than Chris Paul. Are you insane?
That's ridiculous.
So in other words, you're saying that Goran Dragic is a top 3-point guard in the game?
No. No.
He'd be making more money.
No.
He'd be making more money than Russell Westbrook,
No.
Stephen Curry.
No.
What? What?
The top two the top two caps right now for point guards is Chris Paul and Tony Parker, right? Am I right?
No, I don't think Parker's paid as much as Chris Paul, because I think Parker's later into his contract. I think Parker makes like $12 or $13 million a year.
And you're gonna pay Dragic more than Tony Parker? Are you insane?
This is hilarious.
And how much did they up Westbrook's salary?
Well, they haven't re-signed Westbrook yet. Westbrook's still got another 2 years with Oklahoma City.
Oh, at how much?
I'm not positive.
I
know
hope
it
they-
ain't $16 million
I
a year.
hope they gave him a salary increase after this season.
This is loud.
They're gonna be knocking
this is
each other
hilarious.
out at the door to get to Russell Westbrook.
This is hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
This is hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
Just
Who
to put
came up with this?
Just to put this into perspective, LeBron James, when he signed the 4-year deal with Miami, his was $98 million. And you're gonna offer Dragic 5 years, 80? Are you insane? Are you insane? Paul Pierce is set on returning next season. Will decide between Washington and the Clippers. Question A, Yvonne, is it a good idea for him to come back? Why or why not?
To anybody?
In general.
Yes, of course. Paul Pierce should play till Paul Pierce feels like he can't play anymore. I do not think that Paul Pierce would play. I'm so prejudiced though about certain people, and Paul Pierce is one of them. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm partial. I do not think that Paul Pierce is the type of individual who would subject a team and play for them when he does not feel like he can be a benefit to the team just to make a buck. I think he has more pride, more integrity, and I think he's a better man than that, regardless of who he plays for. So I think you should let Paul Pierce play until Paul Pierce says, hey, I've had enough and I can't play no more.
It's a lot more simple than you're making it. Paul Pierce, this past season, especially in the playoffs, looked like he was 28 years old. He didn't look a day over 28 when he was winning the ring with Boston.
I know.
It's that simple. Of course it's a good idea for him
Of
to come
course
back.
it
Number
is.
one, he's Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
He's a good name to have in the league. Number two, there's a respect factor and a legacy that goes along with Paul Pierce and travels with him to any team he'd like to choose. I don't care if it's Boston. I don't care if it's the Clippers. I don't care if it's Washington. I don't care if it's Philadelphia. His legacy and his reputation follows him wherever he goes, and that is to be respected.
Have the Clippers made an offer to him?
I assume that they have, and that's
Because of
why
the way they
he
worded
is
it?
deciding between. So now the
Okay.
question is...
Okay, I have a question before I answer part B. His position is set if he stays with Washington. Okay?
Clippers don't have a small forward, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, that was...
Paul Pierce plays the 3. Clippers don't have a 3 now that Matt Barnes is gone.
That's true.
So, Washington or Los Angeles? And why?
Who's offering him the most money?
I don't know the offers. I don't know the offers. I do know that it won't be for more than 2 years.
Washington, D.C.
Washington
versus...
Or the
No, it's
Clippers.
Washington State.
or the Clippers? No, it's DC.
It's D.C.?
Mhm.
Or Los Angeles.
Or the Clippers.
We talking beach, sun, sand versus snow, cold, ice.
That has nothing to do with it.
It most certainly does for his family.
Mm-mm.
You don't think Paul Pierce thinks about things like that?
Of course
I
he
do.
does, but that's not the biggest factor.
I know the biggest factor for the Clippers.
No, you don't.
Because he's set in Washington already. How's he and Chris Paul going to get along?
It's not the problem. Chris Paul can get along with anybody. Anybody.
Blake Griffin,
No, ma'am.
okay? Help me out.
It's not Chris Paul. It's not Blake Griffin. It's not even DeAndre Jordan.
By the way, did they re-sign DeAndre Jordan?
Not yet, but they're planning to offer him the max.
I do not think that's a wise choice.
The X factor for the Los Angeles Clippers has now become Lance Stevenson. You know, Mr. blowing in the ear of LeBron
Paul
James.
Pierce is not going to put up with that.
No shit! He ain't going
He's
to
going
Los
to knock
Angeles.
him out.
He ain't going to Los Angeles. You can forget it.
Oh, but that would be a beautiful thing
No,
to
it
see.
wouldn't. Paul Pierce is a realist.
Skill-wise.
Paul Pierce,
Put all the personalities and
even
quirks
so.
and all
even so,
out on that court.
Paul Pierce, you want to talk about too much star power?
Yeah.
Chris Paul, Lance Stevenson, Paul Pierce, Blake Griffin,
but
and
I
DeAndre
would
Jordan.
love to see that.
They wouldn't win more than 50 games. They would not win more than 50 games.
One would try to outplay the other.
Correct.
Yeah. They'd
Okay.
be their own worst enemies.
Okay, and it's more competition for Blake Griffin. That's how he reads it.
Yeah.
Okay, Blake Griffin's a freaking scrub. Anyway,
No, he's not.
He's a
You just
frickin'
don't
screw.
like him.
okay, he can't do anything besides dunk. What does he do that's highlight worthy besides dunk? I can dunk. What does he do? What on God's green earth does he contribute to that team that is highlight worthy and worthy of being on ESPN besides dunk a basketball? Nate Robinson can dunk a basketball.
Oh, yes.
In fact, when he does it, it's more impressive because he's 5'6". Hello? What?
Okay.
At least DeAndre Jordan blocks shots. You might not like his attitude, but at least he blocks shots. At least he rebounds. Leads the league
Oh yeah.
in rebounding.
Oh yeah. You got to give him.
And leads the league in field goal percentage. How about that? That to me is more highlight worthy than a damn dunk contest. If not for Blake Griffin jumping over that car in the dunk contest, who the hell would he be? Or better yet, if not for Chris Paul,
handing it
who the
off.
hell
Yeah.
would Blake Griffin be? He does nothing that is highlight worthy except dunk. And I'd like someone to argue that point with me. Because they're not going to win. Show me something that he did in these playoffs that's worthy of having highlights. Because he didn't show up against Houston when Dwight Howard was shutting his ass down. Just like I said he would. Oh, it's Dwight Howard. He's not going to shut Blake Griffin down. Bull crap. I'm sorry, Blake Griffin got outplayed by Terrence Jones.
Yeah. That was ugly. Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah, but Terrence Jones is good, but nobody thought that was going to happen. I know.
Give me a break.
I know.
Congratulations, Griffin. You can dunk a basketball.
Yeah.
So can every other person
Well,
in the league.
I think. Wait, where did Washington end up?
We're like fourth
Yeah.
in the fifth in the East. They played Toronto in the first round.
Yeah.
Swept them.
Yeah.
Which shocked me. Sweeping Toronto, beating Toronto, I knew they were going to do. Sweeping them?
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul Pierce is a realist. Above all else, he is real with you. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. He is a realist. He is down to earth. Lance Stevenson is a joke. Lance Stevenson pulls pranks. Let me blow in LeBron James' ear. You know what happened the game after Stevenson blew in LeBron James' ear? He went for 45 and 13. That's what Lance Stevenson gets himself into. Nothing but on the court trouble. He's a joke. He is a joke. I don't think the Clippers should have ever traded for Lance Stevenson. I think Chris Paul and Lance Stevenson are going to have problems in the same backcourt. I do. I think Lance Stevenson is the first guy that Chris Paul is going to have a problem with. The first and only guy. Stay in Washington, Paul.
I do
please.
Not see
Number
Lance
2 and
Stevenson blowing in Paul Pierce's ear.
and wait. Let's make it even more simple than we're making it. The Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Which one is easier?
Yeah.
Stay in Washington, please. Please. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
And lastly,
because I don't see, as much as we say let Paul play till he can't play anymore, time's not on
he's
his
never
side.
been out of the Eastern Conference.
Right.
He's played for Boston, Brooklyn, and Washington. All Eastern Conference teams. All of them. And lastly, Eric Gordon has opted into his $15.5 million season with the Pelicans next year. He will return. Good or bad move? And what do the Pelicans need from Gordon this season, Yvonne? He's your boy.
I know.
You should know more than me about him.
I can answer that very simply. Brutally honest. I think it's a very good move. I do think he's overpaid.
There's no question.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think he's overpaid. However, if he shows up, he's not overpaid. The main thing he has to do, he has to show up.
Yeah.
He has to show up, he has to play, he has to do what we know that he can and is capable of doing. And I don't know what happened last year. But if he's going to make that kind of money, he needs to earn it.
Correct.
He needs to earn it.
NBA just posted a quote from Alvin Gentry with a picture.
Pelicans?
I want to get your thoughts on it before we leave. He said, quote, "We have the best player in the league
Anthony Davis.
on our team,
Anthony Davis.
not named LeBron." So that means that Alvin Gentry is saying that Anthony Davis is the second best player in the league besides only LeBron. Would you agree with that? Second best player in the entire league? Would you go that far?
Overall, regardless of position,
Uh-huh. Would you go that far?
you know I just might.
I would.
Yeah.
He does everything LeBron does on a lighter level
Yeah.
at a different position with less assists
Yeah.
and more blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go that far. Today, I would go that far.
Yeah.
Who would you put third? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, wow.
Just a...
I can't do that because I look at them in their positions and think about,
overall. Because when you talk about those two guys, you're talking about guys that can get it done on both ends of the floor, offense and defense, not just one. Okay?
right now at this particular point in time,
Correct.
you're going to have to sit down. Westbrook.
Exactly. That's my name. Russell
Oh,
Westbrook.
really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't feel like that last year.
Mm-hmm.
But after what he accomplished and after what he did, with very little credit, I might add.
Not even
with-
in the MVP race?
With
You
very
kidding me?
little accolades, with very little. Yeah, I would say Russell Westbrook.
Me too.
And I
Me
still
too.
say he should have got the MVP award.
So do I. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is
please watch the draft picks tomorrow
yeah,
night.
NBA
A lot
draft tomorrow
of
night,
what-
6
a
o'clock
lot of
Central
what-
Time, 7
yeah.
Eastern.
A lot of what we discussed we can't even make final decisions about, because a lot of it depends on
Tune
what
in.
the draft picks are going to be.
Tune in.
Because
it's gonna be a good one.
a lot of our opinions could change. A lot of our things that we discussed could totally change depending on what the draft pick holds.
Please tune in.
Let's hope there are not any major catastrophic surprises that we're not anticipating.
Let's be sure to tune in. NBA Draft 7 Eastern tomorrow night on ESPN. For Yvonne Juno, this is Chris Guyette. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Full Court Press. We'll be back with you next week.